Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People, September 19th, 2021. And as of now, you have probably already heard the La Palma volcano is in eruption now. It is erupting now, and I want to share a few pieces of information about this. Okay. The first thing we see is that explosive activity is continuing. Volcanic Ash Advisory Center warned about a volcanic ash plume that rose up to an estimated 5,000 feet. And so in this eruption, this was caused by, over the last 24 hours, there were more earthquakes. There was actually an uptick in earthquakes. And in the last 24 hours, there have been 5 earthquakes of 3.0 or more. And there were 89 earthquakes between 2 and 3, and there were also 129 quakes below magnitude 2.0. So if you add all those up, it's more than 200 earthquakes over the last 24 hours. The biggest quake today was a 3.8. Okay, 3.8. Well, all of this activity here, all of this activity has increased the code to orange. So it's gone from yellow. There's four levels. It's green, yellow, orange, and red. So they have not pushed it to red yet, but it is at orange. La Palma is in eruption. I want to just share with you real quick. There's a number of channels that are covering this. Here's one I'll leave with you. Heads up, crack on detachment cliff has reached the ocean on La Palma. Okay, and so this is a very important part of this. We need to watch that crack and see what is going to be happening. I don't know how much more of a warning there can be. This could go at any moment. People need to prepare now if they haven't prepared. Everything that is together with this. Okay, that is one channel. I'll leave the link for you. We've got Dabu 7 covering this. Volcano erupts on Spain's Canary Islands, follows 3.8 earthquake that just hit region. We've got information coming out of Israeli News Live. Together with this, I want to show you what is happening. Now, this could all be connected to the same CME flares, the movement, the geomagnetism that is coming off of the sun. Okay, it's picked up over the last 2 weeks. This whole thing with the Palma could be connected to all of this new activity that has been coming from the sun. And so we cannot overrule the fact that these two are directly connected with all of the sunspots that began around the middle of August. Then all the sunspots have been cleared up over the last number of days, but this earthquake activity started picking up on La Palma. Well, now, just as this is erupting, okay, on La Palma today, over the last 24 hours, this began erupting. We've got this information coming, and we can read this here on spaceweather.com. Consider this a hello from an old friend. The source of the eruption is almost certainly returning sunspot AR 2860, which is coming back after a 2-week trip around the far side of the sun. Okay, it's the sun rotates in 28 days, 27-day cycle, where the sun will actually rotate. So the sunspots that were Earth facing 2 weeks ago are now returning. Well, there is a projection coming off of the sun, an eruption coming off of the sun, and this is the interesting thing about this is that you have a volcanic eruption and you have a solar eruption. There's a connection. And there could be a connection on Earth between the two as well. And so let's take a look at this. The source of the eruption is almost certainly returning sunspot AR 2860, which is coming back after a 2-week trip around the far side of the sun. During its previous appearance in late August, The Sunspot produced 1 M-class flare and 21 C-class flares. We shall soon see if AR 2860 has lost any of its potency as it rotates into view this weekend. So this weekend, 2860 is going to be coming our way. It's going to be rotating around. It's going to be Earth facing once again, starting this weekend. AR 2860. We have talked extensively about this because in the middle of August we were watching the lead up to the Feast of Trumpets and 2860, which means in the Hebrew, bridegroom. Okay? In the Hebrew, bridegroom. Remember in Matthew chapter 25, the bridegroom is delayed. So we have the trumpet call going out, the last call, the midnight call, and then the bridegroom is delayed. Well, here we have an interesting situation where we had eruptions last month or two to 3 weeks ago from Sunspot 2860. But the bridegroom, which is 2860, was delayed. Well, now we have 2860 coming back. And now it's connected to this La Palma. Okay, so I can't prove scientifically that this one specific sunspot or these specific sunspots are causing this, but there is no doubt that things on earth are moving. The heavens and the earth shall be shaken. Things are being shaken right now. Okay, and so we have the palm, which the palm represents the triumphal entry of the Messiah, right? The palm branch that is being shaken. La Palma. All right. So we've talked about these things. I just want to share with you. I just want to get this out now, connected to La Palma volcano, connected to these other reports that are coming in about this, and also connected to Sunspot 2860, which is acting up again, is going to be in view this weekend. Now, before I close here real quick, we need to understand we are right now on September 19th. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, we have the completion of the full moon cycle. This is the harvest moon. The moon closest to the equinox is called the harvest moon. We have the connection to summer being near, the harvest in summer. We have the beginning of Tabernacles, and we have the 4-year anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign. All of this right here. Okay. The other thing about the full moon is the tides. Okay, this is all also connected to the timing of a full moon and the high tides, and the high tides may affect the movement underneath these islands as well. And all of this is coming together, and these are warnings that have been coming for a long, long time, and we could be reaching the culmination of the warnings now. We've got the solar spots coming back. We've got high tides with the full moon. We've got volcanoes erupting. We've got earthquakes going off, and we've got a serious warning for decades now. This whole situation and the danger and the threat of the Canary Islands has been documented for decades, about the possibility of this whole chunk of the island breaking off and causing a Mega-Tsunami. Okay, so we're right here, and this is connected to the fall feast here. Jesus in John chapter 7, on the last day, the great day of the feast, Jesus stood up and cried, "If any man thirst, let him come to me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." Here's this connection to water at the end of the Feast of Tabernacles. And it also says in verse 14, "Now about the midst of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught." So, we remain on high watch within the beginning of Tabernacles and the full moon and the new arrival of the sunspots. We've got the middle of the feast, which connects us to the Revelation 12 sign and the 4-year anniversary, and we've got the end of the feast where Jesus stood up And in the last day, that great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, "If any man thirst, let him come to me and drink." Okay, so we've got all of these connections. I want to get this out real quick. I'm going to close this here, and I'm going to continue studying and seeing what is happening, any other connections we have to where we are. We remain high watch from now till the end of the Feast of Tabernacles. We do not know. No man knows the day or the hour. All signs are showing that it could be any moment now. I pray you guys are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People, the sign of his coming revealed.